The year is 1812, and America is fresh off defeating the largest navy in the world after their revolution. However, Great Britain is now looking to expand their territory throughout Canada in what is now known as America's Midwest, while America is also looking to claim the land. The dispute for these territories launched America into its first officially declared war, the War of 1812. Valuable assets of this war were the Great Lakes, notably Lake Erie. Lake Erie was a commonly used trade route, connecting major cities through its waters. The British were well aware of this and captured it almost immediately during the Siege of Detroit. America knew it had to put a stop to British control of the lake. The Secretary of the Navy commissioned a fleet of ships to be made and appointed Master Commandant Oliver Hazard Perry to command them and to take back the lake. Perry was a young naval prodigy while also having a few wars and battles under his belt. Skirmishes occurred throughout the first year on the lake, but the real battle commenced on the 10th of September, 1813. The battle started at Put-in Bay, formerly known at the time as Pudding Bay. Perry had previously successfully blockaded the British General Robert Barclay, who had stationed up at Pesque Island with his fleet. Knowing his men couldn't survive without their blockaded resources, Barclay had enough and went on the move. He approached Pudding Bay with his fleet, having the wind be in his favor on the morning of the approach. Perry, who knew the battle was imminent, was ready. He boarded his ship and set sail towards the enemy. At the start of the battle, Perry outnumbered Barclay in ships, 9-6. Perry waited near the harbor until the winds shifted in his favor. Immediately after the tides turned, Perry swooped in. At 11:45 a.m., the Scorpion and the Detroit start the shoot-off between the two rivals. Perry knew that his ship's cannons would be more effective at closer range. This was because the British heavily relied on long guns, which were more effective at a greater distance than the heavily stocked cannonades the Americans possessed. These cannonades had more power, but only at a closer range. Believing his firepower had to be closer, Perry ordered his ships to move forward. However, it was only the Lawrence that progressed. It is speculated that the ship that was supposed to follow Perry was blockaded by another brig of their own, accidentally stopping their joint advancement. Without the close help of the Niagara, the Lawrence was soon disabled. With 2/3 of the crew either killed or injured, Perry decides to grab the ship's flag, which read his and his late mentor's motto, "Don't give up the ship," which he had to do, for now, as he rowed back to the Niagara, dodging cannon fire along the way while the British took hold of the Lawrence. However, once Perry had reached the Niagara, he decided to try his close-range strategy again and ordered heavier fire from the surrounding schooners. Now, with the full force of the Americans headed towards them, the British tried to turn their ships around, but in the process got their two main ships, the Detroit and the Queen Charlotte, entangled in each other. Barclay, who had already lost one arm in a previous injury, was severely injured in his remaining arm and his leg. The British also lost every lieutenant and multiple captains during the continuous fire dealt by the advancing ships. With their main ships disabled and lack of leadership available, the British had to surrender. Some British ships attempted an escape, but were easily caught by Perry's fleet. Once all the ships were captured, Perry returned to the still-afloat Lawrence and accepted the British surrender aboard his original flagship. Once the battle was officially over, Perry composed his now famous message to President William Henry Harrison. "Dear General, we have met the enemy, and they are ours. 2 ships, 2 brigs, 1 schooner, and 1 sloop. Yours with great respect and esteem, O. H. Perry." The Battle of Lake Erie was over, lasting roughly 8 hours. This battle shifted the war in favor of the Americans, letting them have almost full control of the waterways and trade routes in the area. A monument stands on the island today, celebrating Perry's victory, and all those who fought in the battle, as recognition of the long-lasting peace Great Britain, Canada, and the US have today.